Hello, I'm Charlie, and welcome to Word of Mouth. I'm here with Sekucci and Sterling Juan Diaz. Thank you so much for coming today. I really appreciate it. And I'm so excited to have you for the inaugural episode. It's going to be a back-to-back. First, let me get your names and pronouns.
Seku, they, them. Oh,
Sterling Juan Diaz, yeah. He, him, sis, sometimes.
So, I first want to ask what, brought y'all together for your back-to-backs? What was the day that you guys were like, let's just do this?
It was just something that happened really organically. I think a lot of it did have to do with just like Sterling's teachings and influence on me when I just wanted to, plug in and just play with my friends at the house, and which later developed into making a mix, and then that later developed into actually playing. I think from our relationship and our friendship and then those turn of events, it just kind of happened organically because we were always at the house just jamming.
I feel like the reason I probably DJ with you so often is just because it is easy like that, and it is more like there's like no pressure of like not knowing if you're on the same like wavelength, or like where people are coming from, or like if you really know them like that, or like what their tea is. 2019 was like the first time we like ever did like a real
2019 or at 19 years?
2019.
Okay, that's a while ago now.
But I would say like us doing like a thing.
That was around
2020
or 2021.
when I broke my leg.
Yeah.
It was the first time we made a mix.
At the house.
Oh my god, I haven't heard that mix in so long.
Maybe.
There's a mix deep in my SoundCloud called oaSIS.
Oh, that's cute.
S-I-S. Yeah, it's the first thing of us two that's like recorded.
How did it go from oaSIS to, DJing at a high level?
I've just always been really invested in the scene and like new music coming out, independent artists, record labels, always just checking out what the fuck is up. So I would say you meet people that way, you check out cool stuff that way, you build relationships with people that I guess have influence, and then you also get the chance to like get a shot somewhere and then impress a good amount of folks, and that kind of can like lead to other things. But that does take work. It takes the shitty gigs sometimes, but you don't know who's there, and it leads to other things, and you show, I don't know, I guess professionalism as well, and like accountability, and like the I don't know, your respect for what you're doing, and it kind of pays off in that way. And then also have good taste.
I still feel like I'm the baby in the situation. Like, this is just going on year 3 for me. But I would have never guessed or imagined that the trajectory would happen this fast or this gradual. But also, anything I consider worth doing, I want to do well. And
You're such a fucking like world builder, planner, like creative in every sense of like any like creative endeavor you go on that I can't even fathom. Like I can't even like, girl, like yo, like have a concept for EP and all the names are freaking wrestling moves that girls do, and like they have a storyline, and I'm like I can't even turn Ableton on.
It's so funny that you say that, because I was listening to your paper mix, and I was so intrigued by the use of vocals, and I wanted to know like what these vocal samples were for you, because like I feel like throughout the mix it was almost kind of grounding. It's like I'm telling you a story and wait, I'm reeling it back in for you to listen. Like I felt like that was kind of the energy, but I wanted to know like what you wanted to portray in the music that you put out for your amazing paper.
Thank you.
Review, of course.
So the basis of that paper mix was a cathartic experience. So the prompt that was given was narrating the past, present, and the future of what New York nightlife is and what that meant to me or how I see that developing. And for me, I could always remember, or like my most memorable nights of going out are nights where I heard DJ sets that sent me to another world, where it just reshaped the way that I listened to music, or it made me question what sounds and rhythms I could actually move my body to and dance to. And that's what I wanted to, in a way, pay homage to. And so I reeled it back to what was the first ever cathartic experience that I could know in my life. I grew up in the church. And so hearing the choir and hearing them sing was the first time I ever felt like my soul like leave my body, or I felt like I was transported or teleported to like another world. So I wanted to begin the mix with gospel hymns. So I put together all these clips and these samples that I just collect in my free time, and just made a track a long time ago, though. Like, I made this track like a long time ago. But it came from the same point of just like me wanting to do my own interpretation of what that cathartic experience was like in the church. And then it just felt like the perfect fit to open up the paper mix with. I started off as a dancer.
Okay.
And my first classes that I took were Afro-Caribbean and West African dance. And one of my favorite dances was Fanga Alafia. And it's basically a dance that was, it's basically a dance of welcoming, inviting the ancestors. And when I did that first EP, which was also my Ableton lesson, we wanted to do something that, like when we were making the tracks, I made the tracks with another fabulous producer and DJ called Perfect Health. And when we were making the tracks, we was like, oh, there's something like very spiritual about the vibe that we're creating with all of these tracks. And so it just naturally popped in my mind, like, oh, Alafia, like let's call it Alafia. And like these sort of like spiritual callings or welcomings or invitations.
Was your move into production also like a calling? Like, was it, how did it happen?
I don't know. Okay, this is gonna sound like really weird.
I want to hear it.
But when I would go out and listen to a set, I would either think of tracks that I already knew to blend with the song that I was hearing, or I would start doing like rhythms in my head to match what I was hearing. And so it just got to a point where I was like, okay, I need to learn how to put this into something like put this into something tangible.
Yeah.
Instead of just having it be in my head.
It's just floating around in your head, and you're like,
and it drove me crazy.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I have these beats, I have these rhythms, I have these melodies, but I need to put them down somewhere. I need it to be an actual thing that I can listen to and that I can actually play out. So I just started asking around if people like knew Ableton and if they could teach me and whatnot. And then Gianni, Perfect Health, was there and willing. So he was absolutely just a great teacher, and really helped me like understand that aspect of production. So yeah, it came from that really.
It very much shows that you love to DJ because, I mean, you have this personality. Like when you're doing your residency mix, you're like, hey, like it's Sterling, like this is what I'm listening to for fun,
those
and you're just giving us all of the bangers.
Yeah.
But what I want to ask you about was your playground mix for the summer. I just remember seeing like it being reposted 40,000 times, and I'm like, what is he doing to combat the brat summer? Like,
Oh my gosh.
like it's so sonically different from like the club tracks. What was that for you?
Yeah, so with the Playground Radio residency, first off, shout out to Zanat Begum.
Shout out to Zanat.
Boss, sister, amazing friend. Inspirational, like big advocate for my artwork and for like my passion for music. It has given, well, we've kind of worked on it together for a while, but Playground Radio is like kind of this platform to kind of archive whatever I want. No pretense, no like expectations. So, you know, playing out in the scene for years, there's like an expectation of what you are to give, you know, like out, like, oh, Sterling's playing, it's gonna give this kind of set. And I love doing the mixes for Playground Radio because it's my opportunity to like kind of not showcase, but like share something that's like not necessarily attached to the context of a night out at a club where I'm trying to make you have fun. All the like Playground mixes that I do are literally explorations of what I think is cool, what I feel like playing, how I express how I'm feeling that day, how I express how, I don't know, the last month was, and like having an outlet to like put it somewhere and then share it.
Do you get together like for a set and you're like, all right, this is how we're gonna rock the folks tonight? Like, is there a conversation? Is the conversation telepathic? Is it in the moment? I love that.
Yeah.
I was actually just having this conversation with the both of people.
Mm-hmm.
There's not too much planning that goes into it. I think it's just a very deep trust that we have for each other, and a comfort that we have around one another.
Yeah.
To where most of the prep that goes into the set is like, oh, here's this cool track that I've been listening to that I've been thinking about playing. Oh, here's this cool track that I've been listening to that I'm thinking about playing. And then
both of those tracks don't even get played, but it like
yeah,
works.
right. And that's the funny part. That's the funny part about it is like most of the time track doesn't get played, but from that we get a vibe of what like of what's like is going on. And I feel like it's always different. So I think we've just leaned into that element of surprise right there. Because we do be surprising each other when we do be playing too.
Be surprised.
And it's a really cool thing to get inspiration as you are playing.
Yes.
I can't really describe it in words, but it's just, I don't know, it's like damn near like euphoric experience where it's just like, whoa, like I didn't think I could be any more amazed or impressed with you than I could already be. And
at Wire?
That must be so
Wire.
Wire. Yeah, like Wire Festival was definitely.
Can you recap it? I know it happened a couple months ago, but think of warmer days.
Very heartfelt, very emotional, and more than just for us.
Yeah, yeah.
Which made it even more heartfelt and even more emotional. There was this was the first year that they had done the ruins in the outdoor, and we were given the task of setting the tone for it. And the tone of the festival, according to the attendees, was a bit sour because it was the first year doing it. There's always like orderly processes that get to be a little that get a little difficult. The ticketing situation was a little confusing, so people were kind of like out of it. And to hear the feedback from the people that had gone saying that like it restored their energy of the festival, that was where I was like, Okay, whoa.
It's because we slept. We slept.
We did.
I, you know, didn't have a sense of like how people would take or like want to receive music at that time after a long weekend, after I guess also the like kind of logistical stuff people get in there. And I think we kind of approached it as just us doing what felt right, us. And I think that just kind of emanated, gave out, and it was fab. And it turned into like the most beautiful day of the year until like weather-wise, until the day we looked fab.
We did.
We did. All our friends were there, smiling faces in the crowd, smiling faces at each other, playing good tunes, and then it's like
it was such an organic and beautiful exchange of energy. Seeing the reaction of the crowd, and just was really like a motivating force to just keep going even like harder and to just give them as much life as we can give them, because they were most certainly giving us life. And it was so happy. Like, I tend to get very in the zone when I play, but I was like skipping, dancing, just flipping my hair.
Yes.
You
were in the moment.
Yeah. And it was just fun.
Was that your favorite back-to-back experience that you've played?
Well, I mean, experience, sure.
Yeah.
Like the whole package of the whole day, everything that happened, the music we played, how people reacted.
That was the first time that we got to do it on a festival stage, right? Yeah.
Fair back to back, probably not. I mean, the music was great.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think one of my favorite is like us playing at a house, like at home.
Honestly,
like shit like that. Like I have like hundreds of private recordings, and half of them are us just fucking around at our friend's house. And that's where we kind of just do, you know, what you've been getting into and stuff. And like that's where I hear really, really, really cool stuff. And I cherish those moments a lot more than like a performance, I feel. But I mean, I love the performance just as much. But
I love hearing your stories because everything kind of goes back to this center of community and mutual like energy feeling. Like, you know, I want to know, like, is this a community that is specific to New York? You know, here y'all are like just beaming about these beautiful experiences you've had centered around music and community and like private community and whatnot. So I'm curious, like, what keeps you here?
Well, I'm from here and I'm not fucking leaving. I don't know. The New York City dance scene is the most interesting dance scene, full stop, on earth. And everything that inspires me from music is happening here, from here, or wants to be here. We get like the best shit going on to do all the time, instant gratification. And the sky's the limit of opportunity, of you know, things to learn, people to learn from. There's literally nowhere else. It's crazy. I like, you know, New York's a hard city to live in, and it's just like changing all the time. But you leave, and you want to leave when you leave, and it's just like getting back home is it's like it clicks again, and it's just like it's the best place in the world.
And it always feels just like that, like getting back home. And I would say wherever I take my sound, it's to always be known that it came from here. So everything that influenced not everything that influenced my sound, but the foundation of what influenced my sound, my approach to music, my approach to my sets was from what I saw and what I experienced here. And I don't think I could get that anywhere else in the world. Might get close, but I don't think it will ever do what New York has done for me and continues to do for me. And then just within like the span of 4 or 5 years, just the family that I found and grew out here was incomparable to anything that I thought that I could ever experience. Just like even then, like we would talk about the whole like festival circuit that we did this past summer with like Whole Festival and Honcho. We would have these moments where we would just reflect on it and we'd just be amazed at the capacity in which we're able to hold space and care for each other and care about each other and love each other. And all of that is very, very important, especially tying it back to how we work as a back-to-back. It's a love and a trust and a care for each other, and that reads and it breathes and it sings and it dances through the music. That's why we say it's so easy, because it's our foundation.
Literally.
It's our home.
What are the missions you want to convey in your music, like individually?
From my own experiences and from experience I've talked about with other people, there's a lot of baggage that comes into these nightlife spaces or these dance spaces. Whether it's from work, whether it's from personal life, whether it's from whatever, people come to purge. People come to take whatever that baggage is and leave it on the dance floor. So that is what I always want to be the main goal or the main mission if you ever come out to see my set, is whatever you took in, you can feel safe with me to let it all out right then and there.
Honorable mention to when y'all played at Basa and you played Stereo Love, and I was like, it was so. That's when I was releasing.
Period. Oh my gosh, you were there. Right. I forgot about that. I have that one archived too. I have that.
You were playing that throwbacks in your mixes as of late too. There was I remember at Sustain you played Music Sounds Better With You, yes. And then was it the Lot mix I listened to, or the other? There was another throwback, and I was like, he's in the 90s, 2000s,
oh, yeah.
like
yeah, no.
vibe
So I grew
with
up on like hip hop, R&B, and like all that stuff, and like it's literally popular music. It's not going away. It's never gonna go away.
It never has to go away.
Yeah,
I never wanted to go away.
I'm like, I'm not a purist when it comes
away.
to like loving popular music and appreciating it and throwing it on.
It's popular because it's good.
Literally, literally.
Exactly.
Even if it's bad, it's good.
Exactly.
But like, yeah, I do it all the time. I am not gonna act like I'm too good.
Yeah, like no one is not that fucking
I'm
serious.
Well, like I'll never do that, but I can, and I'm into obscure ass shit, and I love digging in the depths of niche ways of sound, but it's like you can be multifaceted, and I like to put that in my set.
You can connect with people if there's something people recognize.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like I could
have
play
a greater reach.
I could play IDM, like no vocal the whole time as a set, like it's none of my business, and I can do it. I have the catalog and the range for it. But will I be having fun doing that? I don't know if that's a fact.
Yeah.
And most of the time I DJ because I'm trying to have a good time. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I'm gay. You're going to hear that shit.
It's got to be
I
fun.
have Britney Spears CDs on deck if
I'll
you need
play
it.
them.
Like, literally.
And should.
And will.
Like, a collective vocal pop moment is necessary
Oh my God. Did you see the TikTok about this one?
Oh my God.
Yo, so she played studio last week.
Yeah.
There's a whole viral TikTok about literally that.
No way.
Yeah. Because doing the thing, beautiful, iconic set. I was having a blast. Basically, they were freaking out because they're like, Basement is like this cool techno club, and like usually there's
like the TikTokers, like
yeah. And he was like, and then at one point, this DJ who's going to make that plays "Closer" by Neo.
It's okay to have fun.
Yeah, dog. We're colors.
Fun
I
is
always
cool.
say people who are contrary to that is y'all hate fun.
Yes, nobody wants to have fun anymore.
It's like shit's too damn serious.
Were people like just shouting like the lyrics? Like
Crazy.
I wouldn't know. I have my headphones on. But we were jumping.
Yeah.
So I felt it was connecting.
Girls hit.
I always wonder, which one would hit. Because I'm real good for dropping like a pop moment. I used to
like
do it a lot
left
with
field
We
one.
Found Love. Or anything by Britney Spears. It's a part of that release.
Mm-hmm.
If you're just banging and jacking out to some like house and techno for a minute, I think it's okay to come up for some air.
Yeah.
And I think those pop moments are the time to come up for some air.
They're
It's just
humanizing.
like I'm still here.
Everyone's a robot until they're not, until
It
you
brings
break
you back.
Yeah.
It brings you back.
So I want to know your favorite New York venue to perform in.
Like for sentimental value, Bossa.
Good one.
Like that's kind of where, like I just love that place for what it's meant to me, and appreciating music, appreciating New York dance music, appreciating techno, appreciating house. It's Bossa. It's just simple. Bossa.
I can't cheat with a tie.
What do you
Can
mean?
I?
You
Or
can tie it.
I can tie it. I would have to say Bossa and Basement, because I played some of my favorite sets or sets that I'm most proud of at Basement, and sets that I've played at Bossa were the makings of that.
Yeah, and I think that's
Like
what I'm.
Bossa is that vessel where you can experiment because
Yep.
it's just understood that you go to this venue to just hear good music, no matter what the genre, no matter
What the night is.
what the night is.
How long you've been DJing.
And the crowd understands it and they get it and it's so I always feel safe to get very experimental at Bossa.
Yeah.
And then at Basement, I've just had so many iconic moments.
That sound system.
And the sound system is just out of this world.
Yeah.
And I always push myself to do something different.
Okay, you have to play one genre for the rest of your life. What is it?
I'm not DJing. I'm not DJing. I'm not playing one genre. That's freaking crazy.
Okay, you have to play it for like a month. Just one genre.
Still crazy. I play like
It's hard.
Yeah. I mean, I could get into like I don't know.
I don't want to say I'm physically incapable of doing such a thing, but I might be.
For 1 month right now, and then
1
like,
month
it's
right
over in a
now,
month.
and then like it's like reverse Lent.
It'd be house music because define house music.
Right, exactly.
So
Boom.
yeah, it's house music.
Boom.
Good answer.
There we go.
Favorite effects to use?
Oh, I'm a reverb bitch.
I like Spiral.
Down.
Yeah, Spiral. I mean, but like barely. You love reverb.
I love reverb.
Um,
Love reverb. I love an echo effect too, but it's reverb for me.
yeah, I get into the habit of just doing the same effect kind of thing a lot in Spiral.
Mm-hmm.
Or like cutting, I guess, is an effect. Like that, not an actual effect, but like chopping music.
Mm-hmm. I love a loop.
Oh yeah.
Loop-de-loop.
We love it.
Love a loop.
The music.
Your personal song of the fall.
Well, it just started, so I gotta figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, like,
the
you know,
fall
you're
coming up?
like, what's that song you like play like once a day, and you're like, yeah, like I'm.
At the moment, Losing Sleep Club Royale Extended Club Mix. I am obsessed with that track. I don't know, it just gives me moody fall, early 2000s, like trance track with just like one simple vocal that's just repeated maybe every once in a while in the track. But it's got a sickening bass line and a nice synth bridge moment. I like it, yeah. Losing
Trance
Sleep,
in the Fall is great.
Club Royale, extended club mix. Yeah.
I've been really into this 2001 Circulation album called Colors. It's like each like mix of a song is called Colors. There's one called Mauve that I play like every morning. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know how to describe it, but it's just a really comforting song that I was looking for. I was thinking to put it into a mix once, and it's like probably that.
My last question, I know
Yep.
it's so cold, is who, I mean, I guess for each person, who is someone that is currently exciting you in the scene, who you'd want us to interview next? And
Antojito.
Yes.
Antojito.
why should we be excited?
They
tell the people.
are one of, aside from being one of my favorite people in the world outside of just music and DJing, I feel they are one of the freshest, most riveting
You stole my
sounds that are coming out. When I talk about those cathartic experiences, their sets are one of those cathartic experiences that I'm speaking of. They had just sent me to another world no less than 2 weeks ago for a 3-hour masterclass in storytelling and world building at Nowadays. I am incessantly impressed and infatuated with what they come up with and what their relationship to music is, because that's another thing that gets me really into musicians and DJs, is because I feel like through your artwork and through your craft, I'm learning what your relationship to music is, and it's different for everyone. And theirs is just so fascinating.
Yeah, it's so deeply rooted in who they are as a person, and not a lot of DJs can like play who they like play, and it's like a real like intense expression of who they are, where they're from, how they're feeling, what they're influenced by. So unique and so them at the same time. It's like amazing. I love that bitch.
Even outside of music, they have years of production work at their helm. And I think that will come into, I feel like that will be so impactful in the future of the scene, thinking about planning, thinking about space, thinking about event curation.
Production, like real.
Like real production. I think that is going to be a very defining factor in what's going to shape the future of the city and of nightlife. And I think with their experience and their passion for it, I'm just really excited of what is to come.
Yeah.
Well, you heard it here first. Antojito, we're looking for you.
That's my best.
We're going to find you, and we're going to interview you.
We are going to bring them to you. We'll bring them right to you.
Thank you so much for coming on Word of Mouth. And this is Sekucci. This is Sterling Juan Diaz. And I'm Charlie. And we'll see you when we see you.
Thank you for having us.